What's going on, guys? I am not 100% sure. Let's double check, make sure we are up and running. I hate to do that every time you start right off the rip. Yeah, we're good to go, baby. Good to see you guys. Hope everybody is doing fine. Make sure we get all of our chickens in one basket, or all of our eggs in one basket, if you will. Happy I'm here. Happy I can take a little time out of my day. Just need to make sure we are doing everything how we should be doing it. So let's just jump right into this. Let me bring up the SPY. I want to make sure that we are free and clear of any issues. Cool. All right, cool. Things are looking good. All right, well, I had a little extra time to myself today. Got the boy laid down in bed, and I've been watching the market since this morning. We got power hour coming up in just a little while, so we're going to see if we can have a nice chill day and see what's going on. See what's going on in the stock market. So right now I got the daily pulled up here, and we're going to see what exactly the market wants to make of itself. I absolutely love this yearly breakout that it's happening right now. Is this a trap? I mean, you never know. Nobody actually really knows. But I do like to see this strong push through here, how it traded sideways on that 10-day moving average, and then it pushed. So seeing that push there makes me feel a lot more comfortable with some of the longs I'm holding. And we'll go into it a little bit later, some of the longs I'm holding. I'm also holding a few shorts that if we see some issues with, we're going to have to go ahead and get the heck on out of there and take that money and put it into some more of the longs that are doing well, right? So allocate the money into the right spots and make sure we're doing the right things with them, okay? So, let's see. We got the SPY, S&P 500, sitting at 462.65 currently right now. Let's go ahead and zoom out on this, restore these cells, and look at this 5-minute here. You can see in the pre-market, we had a nice little run up. We had the, let me just double check the news here so I don't say this wrong, but it was the CPI. The CPI came out as expected for the year over year, and the monthly came out as expected. So we didn't see much happen. We've seen a little bit of an influx here. What is that, like a 0.25% move? Let me just double check here. So we'll just go off of yesterday. Yeah, so about a 0.5% move at the absolute most, and then it came back down and started its day relatively close to where we closed yesterday. We had a bit of a sell-off and then a push. So we're back up there to the pre-markets after hours yesterday, and it's just kind of trading sideways, which, you know, it's always nice to see in the market the actual S&P 500 trading sideways. You never want to see this thing just shoot straight up. Trading sideways is always going to be a good thing. Always a good thing if you're bullish, right? If this thing's shooting straight up, you're going to see a big pullback, and you're going to see things contest. So let me just do a few other things here. I'm using that as my main trading screen, which is probably not the best idea here, but I'm going to bring up some other things while we keep an eye on the S&P 500. We want to make sure, and guys, if we look at the yearly highs here, the yearly highs are 479, we'll just say 478 on the SPY, and if we're breaching yearly highs, the all-time highs are 478. So we're not too far from that. We are not too far from that at all. So if this thing can continue to trade sideways for a little while, I would love to see that. I'd love to see this thing continue to kind of trade sideways right here at this peak, make a nice little handle. If not, it already has, right? So we made this kind of cup formation, and if we look on the weekly, it'll look a little bit cleaner. That's how William O'Neill likes to look at these things. And we're talking individual stocks William O'Neill likes to look at, right? But I'm just looking at the overall basis so we can talk in terms that we understand. Here's the cup. Here's a bit of a handle, but I'd like to see it trade a little bit more sideways on the weekly in order to see this thing pop off. So a few more days of some sideways action, letting these 10, 21, and 30-day moving averages catch up before continuing higher would be great. But we also have the QQQ, which is the tech-heavy indice. I'd like to see that thing as well go ahead and take off a little bit higher. You know, I want to see that rip up a little bit higher, but before it does, just like the S&P 500, trading sideways, letting the 10, 21, 30-day moving average catch up before it takes off higher would be ideal. The QQQ has been leading the way for some time now. Since the October lows down here, the QQQ decided to take off all those tech-heavy giants. Now, lately, we've been seeing a lot of rotation. What do I mean by rotation? Well, we have seen the big, heavy stocks like Microsoft have a nice pullback here. We've seen NVDA have a nice pullback here. We've seen Apple, AAPL have a nice pullback here. But the QQQ, the tech-heavy, holding all of those in its mostly weighted, is still heading higher. So it's a beautiful thing to see, because if you want to see a strong market, then you want to see that rotation. All right, so let me just go ahead and shoot this out to a few of my buddies, because we want to make sure my buddies be in here watching. The more the merrier, if you will. The more the merrier. So let's see what we can do here. We got a nice pullback on the QQQs, heading down to VWAP, up quite a bit over the past 3 days, breaking out of that 382.07, 382 area, trading at 396.26 currently. If there's something that you guys are watching specifically, maybe some of these smaller floats like ADTX, I've been watching that. ATRX, that's just trading sideways though, that's not even really. But this ADTX, that's a big mover off the base. The ICVX, that thing's been moving like crazy, trading sideways now. I say moving like crazy, but really this here is just breaking out. It's just breaking out, but now trading sideways. So I think the ADTX would probably be a better watch for our small cap, our low float small cap watchers there. And if you don't know what I mean by low float or small cap, I can bring up the trader view for you, and I'll just give you a quick little rundown. This is Bitcoin, but we're going to be looking at ADTX for the examples. And if we just go in here, this is how I like to look at it, and we scroll down here, we can click on more financials, and it'll show you the free float right here. And the free float is only 189,000 shares. What does that mean when I say free float and only 189,000 shares? I'm saying if somebody has $189,000, they can buy all the shares in this, okay? So one person with a big bank account can really move this thing, okay? So you gotta be really careful in these, because let's say you're buying up here and you drop, you know, and you buy 100 shares, you know, you're losing that, you know, $500 in a matter of, I don't know, an hour. So you got to be really careful when you're looking at these low float, fast moving stocks. Personally, I like to look at the more large cap, and so that's what we're going to go through a little bit today. Xander, hate to leave, but got to go to my next class. I'll join later. So, hey, I do appreciate you swinging by, Xander. Thank you for stopping in. It's always nice to see a fellow jiu-jitsu practitioner. A tough kid. He's a tough kid, and it's good to teach the younger ones how to kick butt, because I'm only going to get older, and he's going to have to handle what comes through that door in later years. So let me just pop on to the old Facebookits really quick and shoot this out to a few people, since I plan on being here for a couple hours. So I do hope everybody enjoys their time while you're with me, because I sure as heck enjoy just being here in front of the computer. So we'll see if we can get some Let's hang out and watch the market move together. Yep, just shooting some stuff out at Facebook. It's great to have. I'm in cahoots with Robinhood Stock Market Watch List. They let me hop on there and do a few posts and things like that. That was pretty nice. He ended up setting me up as an expert on there, so that way at least people would take in a notion that I am not the scammer, because I will not ask for your bank account number for Bitcoin or anything like that. I'm just a talking head here on YouTube, and I absolutely love doing this. This is my thing. This is my thing, man. I like watching the market move. So with SPY trading at 462.30. We have the Qs trading right at VWAP now at 396.16. Again, that breakout area was down here right around 382-ish. I kept bouncing off that 383. Pushed higher, came back down, retested 383, and is now at 396. SMH, I absolutely love SMH. I actually have a lot of shares in SMH. That's the long-term account in SMH. I absolutely love SMH just simply because it is your semiconductor ETF through VanEck, and it is doing very, very well. It is one of the leaders in the ETFs, aside from the building. Let's take a look at the small cap. Now, this has been a lagger. If you guys remember, after 2020 into 2021 here, this thing just traded sideways for a very, very long time. And before we had the big sell-off, everything else sold off before IWM, if you remember. This thing just kept trading sideways, and then IWM was the lagger in the sell-off. It caught up to the sell-off, and now it has been trading sideways for an awfully long time. And as to where everything has now pushed up higher and is finding the new yearly highs, this thing is still lagging behind. Now, some people might say, oh, hey, well, if it's lagging behind, we might as well just buy into it because it is a lagger. But these aren't buy or sell recommendations, especially in this slow-moving stock. It only moves 1.5% a day. So if you are a long-term investor like I am, but I have somebody else handle that stuff, then you can go ahead and do it. Hey, check that out. Advanced to level 5. Look at me. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you gotta understand that these slow movers, they tend to move slow, right? And it's not where I'm going to make my money. I'm going to make my money in faster movers, and we'll actually go over some of that while we are here today. So the NASDAQ, this is the futures, NDX. It's looking very, very good. Let me just check the OBS really quick. Make sure everything sounds good. Looks good. Make sure if you haven't, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. The Dow Jones Industrial. So I guess I skipped over the NASDAQ pretty quick, but NASDAQ has broken out and looking like the Qs, it had that push through its area, 15,847, pulled back, retested that area at the 21-day moving average, and then pushed higher. So the NASDAQ is looking very, very good. This is the NASDAQ futures, and it's getting so close to the all-time highs. All-time high 16,764, and we will be seeing that soon, it looks like. So things are looking very good. When it breaks and makes these new highs, excuse me, I need to get some more coffee. When it breaks and makes these new highs, it makes me want to see it trade sideways, right? Like, we'll zoom in here. We've had a 4-day push. 3 or 4 days of sideways action before it pushes higher, creating that base and then breaking up higher. That's what I like to see. I like to see that. It makes it look clean. Now, Dow Jones Industrial, is that what I'm looking at here? My chart's getting all wonky here. Wow. Guys, I have not looked at the Dow Jones Industrial. Obviously very close. It's getting close to its all-time highs as well. That is absolutely amazing to see. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see how it reacts once it actually gets up to that area. When the Dow Jones, again, this is a slow mover, guys, but when the Dow Jones, I mean, it's been just rushing forward. That's great to see. That's great to see. So the Dow Jones Industrials, your big mega caps. You know, it's the Coca-Colas, the Lowe's and Home Depots, it's the Costco's. You know, it's all those mega caps. It's got a lot of your big tech in there too, I do believe. But those are it's a slow mover because it holds a lot of your slower movers in there, okay? But it's looking very, very good. I do like to see that. So let's see here. NVIDIA. Now, if you guys don't know already, I do like NVIDIA. I'm a believer in NVIDIA. I do think NVIDIA for the long haul. I actually have some shares in NVIDIA as it is. Quite a few shares, actually. Most of my account, really. I am betting on NVIDIA, and I do have a 5-year plan on it. And some might call me dumb for that. I sure sometimes feel dumb for it, just simply because, you know, where I got in, it had a major pullback. So I'm just kind of hanging out in it, but that's why I have a 5-year plan, because I don't want to get into something like NVIDIA, where I do believe in AI, I do believe in this stock, I do believe that it's going to go higher, but I also have a confirmation bias. So don't just use what I'm saying to make your investments. Make sure that you are taking your investments for reasons of your own, okay? So I like NVIDIA. NVIDIA is looking good. One thing I do want to see is how Tesla is doing. So Tesla's been having this area that I drew here. If we take a look at this, you can see it's just kind of trading sideways inside this range, right? So we have a low of 194.50, which is a nice area of support, and then it's pushing up higher, and it's on this downtrending line here, okay? So we can even take this downtrend line, go all the way up here, and you can see, you know, it's doing what these bigger stocks should do. Now, it's not trading like it used to, where it would ramp up and make crazy moves. No, it's just kind of trading sideways. It's trying to figure out what it wants to do. Investors are trying to figure out where they want to be. There's a lot going on with the stock, but it's still above a 200-day moving average. B. Stewie, what up, brother? I'm live in the nerve center. That's right. PBF is tanking. So PBF is a energy stock, as we know. If you look at PBF on the 5-minute, you can tell. I'm looking at PBS. PBF. There we go. That looks better. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't consider that really tanking, but yeah, it's definitely come down off of its highs. So if we look at PBF and we look at the rest of the energy stocks, it'll probably be moving as it should be, like as a cyclical. And if you remember, when we first started talking, Stewie, this right here was the area that I drew out. And you can see if we just extend this all the way through, just like that, you can see that it's still in that same area. It did break out above that at one time, but it didn't stay up there for too long, maybe about a week, and then that thing sold back off and then just started trading in that same area. And that same area, we could even take that and we could run that all the way back here, you know? So it's got this area of confluency that we're seeing. And now it's pushing back down. But what do I see here? Well, if we take this and shoot this out, this is going to be an area of possible support, right? So it is coming down. We do have earnings on the 15th, so that might be a little something to keep an eye on. But yeah, but it is a cyclical. It's an energy stock. It's going to do something. It's going to rise and fall with the rest of it. So let's just look at, I think it's XLE is energy, and I think you'll see some similarities here. So let me zoom out here. So this is energy, and maybe we can just it's been a while since I've been on this. I'm trying to full screen it for you here. Reset the chart view, zoom out. So if you look on this left side here, you can see it's ran up and you can see how it's trading sideways, and it's met its resistance up here at the top. Let me see if I can just make a nice little horizontal line here. Boop, like that. And then you can see the trend line from here up, just kind of like that. All right, so now you got a visual here. So this XLE is the energy sector. So the whole sector's in this area. So if you see the energy sector kind of hitting this resistance area, let's see, that was September 12th in 2023. So let's just go back to our chart on September 12th, 2023, and September 12th, 2023, and you can see right there is when PBF started to come back down. So it found resistance right here and started to head down when we seen resistance on the ETF. Isn't that interesting? So that's something that you can do when you're actually making your paper trades. You can look at the overall sectors. So I know that you like trading PBF. There's a few other stocks that I know that you like trading, like WWE, or is that WWF? I think it's WWE now. And you can look at things like that, and you can look at the overall sector and say, hey, this thing's going to run into resistance in this area, and it's been trading sideways on my charts. It's been trading sideways now here on my charts for a week, and it's hit that resistance on the chart. Maybe I take a little off, maybe I exit my position, you know. So that's just a little side note there for you. Let's take so we were talking about Tesla and how it's kind of just trading inside this range here. And then we got Netflix here. Netflix, I mean, this thing is just, I have a buddy, we call him Hollywood. Shout out to you, Hollywood, if you're listening or you're watching this at a later time. But this here, man, has just been an absolute beast. He keeps telling me to get into this thing, that it, you know, it's very unique and yada, yada, yada. And I just haven't been able to. But I will say this. If we go back here, this is going to be an area right here. And look at that. I'm pulling this. Let me just zoom in here. I'm pulling this. This is what I love about technical analysis. I'm pulling this all the way back from last year around the August area. Okay, August, January area, anywhere in between there. Yeah, 2020. And I pull that, and as I pull this area of used to be support, when you break below it, it becomes resistance. When you pull that, it then becomes an area of resistance, okay? So you can see this thing shoot up, it touches this area, not just once, but twice, and pulls back down. The thing is that it's finding support, all right? So if this thing can break above this area of resistance, it might see its next area, which would be somewhere around this 560 area, okay? So if this thing can break above this, sustain buying power above this, and continue to follow this trend line, we might see another push in NVIDIA. So we'll see what NVIDIA wants to do there. But yeah, if you see all these sloppy lines and all this crap, you know, these were my buys. This is kind of funny, but this is where I bought Netflix. And when it got all the way back up here in this area of resistance, I ended up getting out. So I bought here through this breakout, bought here, it pulled back, I held through all this, and when it got back up to the top of this, I exited my position. And then this thing just kept storming up higher and higher. Do I regret it? At the time, no, but now seeing what this is, that's why I want to be a longer term buyer. I want to be a swing trader. I want to do these things for longer. And that's why I have taken some 5-year plans on a few stocks. Microsoft is a leader. Okay, last time we talked, NVIDIA was the leader. It was leading the AI charge. It was leading the big tech names. It was leading the charge. Now it looks like Microsoft is doing that, right? Obviously, aside from Apple, AAPL, but Apple is still lagging behind. It hasn't hit the all-time highs. It hasn't broke above that. It did. Had a huge pullback, traded sideways, and is trying to get back up there again. So, will Microsoft take over? Will it take over in its? Let's just check. Let's see where they're at in their market cap. So, let's see. MSoft, old Softy. So Microsoft's market cap is, let's see, where do I find that dang Microsoft market cap? Volume, market capitalization, 2.765 trillion. And they're just over the 3 trillion marker. So Apple, this is its $3 trillion area that it's at. And so Microsoft is just behind being the biggest leader in the name. So Apple is at 3 trillion and Microsoft is just behind it by 0.25 trillion. I know now it's crazy numbers to be thrown out there, but it is what it is. So Apple is still the mega leader. Now we had a huge pullback in Meta yesterday, and it looks like Meta is recovering a little bit from that, bouncing off that 30-day moving average. Excellent to see, especially if you're holding Meta. I don't know if you believe in Meta or not, but this thing just had an absolute beast of a move since its lows last November. Last November and all the way to this November. I mean, let's just take a look. So last November 11/2/22 to now, which is going to be, we're just not going to say now, we're going to say 11/2. So in 1 year, it's moved up. Wow, that's almost unbelievable to say. 254%. Are you kidding me? 254%, guys. That's amazing to think. 254%. Meaning if you were a believer in Meta down here, you've seen these huge lows and you bought in, you could have tripled your account. You could have made 254% off your account. Now, is anybody doing that? I mean, 20% is a big, big move. But if you believed in Meta, which I obviously can't say I did because I didn't make any money off this move, but I had a few friends that did, and I took a little bit of pieces. I made a little bit of money, not nearly as much as I should have. So that's Meta. Let's take a look at Google. Now, Google's been a laggard. If you look, Google's not making new highs. It's not holding out up here at these highs. And when everything was taking off in the AI race, Google was really trailing behind. It wasn't doing anything too crazy. TKO is the ticker for WWE and UFC. So let's just take a look at TKO. Of course it's TKO. That's an easy one to remember, right? Oh, wow. That thing really tanked? Come on. Is it really TKO? I don't remember it looking like this. So TKO is the ticker for WWE and UFC. I don't know. When did they switch to that? Because I thought, oh, yeah. So the UFC actually ended up buying WWE. And so they combined now into TKO, which is really surprising because it's looking more like an IPO. This is a TKO Group Holdings. Let me just go to, let me see if I can answer my own question. Do TKO, and let me scroll down here and read about it. So TKO Group Holding engages in the provisions of sports and entertainment. Its businesses included the Ultimate Fighting Champion, UFC, and the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. The company was founded on March 29, 2023, and is headquarters in New York, New York. B. Stewie, thank you for the information. I don't know why I ever doubted you, sir. You are on top of your thing. So thank you for that. Yeah, it's actually nice to know that. The reason why I was so taken aback by it, because last time we were looking at WWE, if you remember, that thing was taking off. I mean, it was taking off. And then they ended up getting bought out by UFC, which only further pushed that higher. So it's cool to see that now they're called TKO. That's easy to remember, and it's pretty catchy. So yeah, man, for sure. Back to Google. Google is the lagger. Google's the lagger. I really like to see this thing take off. I'd like to see it do a little something. But I tell you this, I want to take a look at NVDA. So NVDA had a nice push off of this morning, pushed up higher, and then came back down. But what my issue is I am short Roblox. I need to watch this because Roblox, if we look right here, you can see on the daily, it's hit this resistance. Now, what I don't like is that I took this short down here, guys. This is not a good spot to take this short. All All right, I took it down here because it tested once, twice, and I took it right around 39.80. Let me see, 39.84. I took 400 shares at 39.84. It's a bad spot to take it, to be honest. But you know me, I'm very transparent here. I don't care. I don't care what people think. Trading's hard. Trading's very, very hard. I've had some really, really good plays this year, and I've had some really bad plays this year. Right now, this could end up being a really, really good play, but I took it a little too early. I seen it test 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. Well, we'll call this the 3 times because this 4th time here, I was actually already holding. Okay. Let me zoom in. So it tested 1, 2. I called this 3 times right here. And then I got in right here, looking like an indecision doji candle where it would break down on this 10-day moving average and then continue lower, heading all the way back down to its low around $24, $25. Now, what's happened is after I had bought this thing, and if you look in the pre-market, it hasn't done much of anything. But after I buy it, the old market makers got together and they said, hold my coffee. We're going to scare the living crap out of this guy. And within, I would say, how long is pre-market? It opens at 7. So within an hour and a half, this thing put me about $1,000 under, guys. I was down $1,000 before the market even opened the next day after I took my short right here at this 39.85 or whatever it was. Okay. And I know how it is. I know how it is. I decided not to get out because we have this huge area of resistance. We have this huge downtrend area. So I held on to it, and it came all the way back down just above where I bought it. And I said, I'm not going to get out. I didn't even take off any shares. I stayed true to my game, and I'm staying true to my short. Now, I made a whole nother video on Roblox, why I shorted it, why I don't like Roblox. Now, one of my kids do play Roblox. I know Roblox is very hot right now. People are talking about Roblox. Nicki Minaj had a collaboration with Roblox. Oh my gosh. And that was their reasoning for this stock to go skyrocket. There is actually a lot of institutional ownership in this. What's up, Joshi? Good to see you, brother. And the thing with Roblox here is I'm just expecting my technical analysis to stay true and for this thing to pull back and we see a tasty little trade on this. What do you think, Joshi? You think the technical analysis will stand true for Roblox? SPY next level to touch 473.50. So let's head back to the SPY. We'll come back and sweat over Roblox after a while. So 473.50 is your next test. Let's just see why you may say that. So 473.50, 473.50. Yeah, I can see that. Look at this area of resistance up here at 473.50. I'll just go ahead and mark that out. Bada bing, bada boom. You think it's just going to break right above this area and test that area. I like that. I think that's a great idea. Now, keep in mind, the SPY only moves 0.7% at a time. So when you're taking these levels, Mikey, it's good to see you, brother. What are you watching, Mikey? I'm sure you're keeping an eye on one of these lower floats, this ADTX. This thing's popping off, going like crazy. But it's good to see you in here, brother. Let me know what you're watching. I'd like to take a look at it myself. But yeah, Joshi, I can definitely see your test on that SPY. But because the SPY is such a slow mover, is there anything that you're kind of watching to kind of see move a little faster? Like I took AXON, which moves 1.8, it's a little bit quicker. I took this trade after I seen its breakout right here at 231. I only took 15 shares. I'm only up about 150 bucks. But it's a long and it was easy to take and it's a slower mover, so I don't have to sweat over it. But let's see, you shorted ADTX at the open. Let's take a look at ADTX again, guys. Yeah, I can see why you would have taken it at the open because it took off, and I've seen a lot of tickers lately, a lot of smaller floats like WINM, SHOT, NXTP, all of those tickers kind of shoot up, make a big move in pre-market, and then take off at the open and just get above their pre-market highs and start to fail. So I'm assuming that's probably what you had in mind on that, Mikey, that breakout and then shorting right there and using that high to take your short. This thing definitely took off a lot higher than you probably anticipated and now is pulling back below that area. I'm assuming you probably took some of your profits, at least I hope that you did, trailing under that VWAP area, and now we're moving into a power hour. Joshi says Tesla buy on dip. Yeah, Tesla has been lagging behind a lot. My technical analysis that I've been seeing has just been trading inside of this pennant here. And trading inside this pennant here, you know, it's not something I necessarily am opposed to seeing, because I do like seeing it form these pennants and then break out on higher volume, so that way you can play the momentum, play the continuation. But back to the stocks that we were taking a look at. Look at Amazon, just trading sideways up here at its yearly highs after that stock split. But yeah, everything is looking very nice. Things are doing very, very well. But back to old sweaty Roblox here. I need to see this thing die. And, you know, Mikey, if you're still in here, I'd like to see your analysis on Roblox. What do you think about Roblox, brother? I'm not sure if it's something that you trade very often, but I want to see this thing die. You know, it's got a lot of hype. I understand that, but I made a whole video on this, and this Roblox, if you look, they're just burning money, man. They are just burning money. You know, they have nice revenue that's coming in, but the higher their revenue comes, the lower their net income comes. Their net margin is just failing, okay? It just looks like absolute garbage. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens for Roblox. I'm definitely going to be keeping a very close eye on this, since I have a big short on it. Joshi, what are your thoughts? TRG, Triangle Corporation? It's not even popping up on my thing. So I don't know what's up with TRG. Maybe you meant TGR? Nah. Let's go back to the SPY, see where we're sitting at. Wife just got home. SPY is still working its magic, looking very good here. Hello, beautiful. Hi. QQQ still trading sideways, sitting at 396.92. Yeah, I'm live. Yeah, I am. I'm live right now. I got a whole 3 viewers. They're loving it. SMH at 167.02. IWM still lagging, still sitting below, still squatting down. We're gonna have another pullback in IWM. Be interesting. Let's see. First target for Roblox is 52. So you have a target RBLX. So from here, you think it's gonna head up to $52. I see why you would say that there. That's its area of resistance. So I hope that you're wrong, Joshi, but you've been doing pretty well at maintaining pretty stable call-outs since I've met you. So I'd like to see it fail and come back down here to $25 area. That's my target. Let's see, second 103 may take time. By TRG is confirmed. Okay. First target, 52 is your first target on Roblox. From where we stand, very interesting. I'd like to see Roblox just completely get annihilated here. But I tell you, that Nicki Minaj news, that killed me, man. You know, seeing why it was up, and it says, Nicki Minaj, Roblox joins forces for Pink Friday 2, dominating Apple Music charts as Roblox shares surge. And it's just like, come on, is this some kind of joke? Is this some kind of joke? Like Nicki Minaj is moving Roblox? Like, no, not accepting that. But I'd like to see it starting to curl a little bit, Roblox is. I like to see that come back down since it's really hurting my account. But NVIDIA, now that is what I need to see. What do you think, Joshi, about NVIDIA? I like to see NVIDIA just ramp up and take off. It is holding this 30-day moving average very well. Every time it comes back down to this, it's creating new lower highs. And I'd like to see this thing push. Obviously, I have a bias, but this 481, 482 area, this is really, really an area of resistance. It needs to get above this, and it needs to hold above this before it can break through that 500 on volume. So I'd like to see that happen as well. So we will see what happens with that. What else have we not went over yet? Mara, good old Mara, and Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin's been hot quite often. We can go ahead and take a look at old Bitcoin, BTC. And we'll see what that's doing right now. So we had a nice pullback the past couple days. Obviously, it's getting pretty exciting here, and we've seen a big slide off just a few days ago. But if you look at Bitcoin overall, let's look at the weekly here. You can see its trajectory. I drew this out a while ago. Its trajectory is, just heading straight up here. It can still come back. It can still pull back. We don't need this thing to go straight up. And let's see, it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green days in a row. And not just green days, very significant green days. This thing has been really, really pushing. So this pullback is healthy. A lot of people are freaking out. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin's gonna crash. It's gonna crash. It's like, guys, that's what they've been saying. But no, it's just, this is how Bitcoin moves. It makes big moves. It has pullbacks. It gives a lot of what its move was back. It comes back up and pulls back. I mean, that's just part of the market, right? And Bitcoin being as stable as it has been, screw the shit coins, Don't worry about putting your money in, and I might get a lot of heat for this, but, I don't believe in all of the other stuff. I like Bitcoin. If Bitcoin moves higher, the crap coin moves higher, right? So Bitcoin moves higher, the crap coins move higher. If the Bitcoin fails, the crap coins, they just tank, right? So that's my thoughts, my theories on Bitcoin. But that's why I look at Mara, because if you want a move in equities through Bitcoin, then you're going to look at Mara. So Joshi says NVIDIA 449 pending target. Oh, so you're using TRG as target. That's what you mean by TRG. I looked up the ticker TRG. So let's take a look at NVIDIA again. So your target is 449 pending target. Okay. 449, so you think it's going to pull back to 449. Actually, I do remember you saying that, actually. And that's cool. I do like that target of 449 breaking, probably taking a liquidity pull out of this, getting a lot of its investors out, and then taking off possibly higher from there. I have a buddy, Hollywood. He's thinking it's just going to come right back down to 400 and do another bounce and take off higher and still kind of just trade sideways for a while. And you can't talk about NVIDIA without talking about AMD. Obviously, AMD has shown significant strength just the past couple days. Nowhere near its all-time highs, but yearly highs, it broke through on significant volume. If you look down here, the past 4 days has been above average volume on AMD. So that's really nice to see that happening, right? Let me head back to Roblox just to see what is going on there. Okay, so we're finally seeing it top here a little bit, just trading sideways up at these tops. Hopefully, and I say that because I have a biasy and I'm short Roblox, that this thing can do a nice pullback. Let's see that thing pull back. Let's see it tanky tank. I got 4 again here and only 2 likes. Maybe I need to like my own video. Maybe that's the issue. So if you got a second, go ahead and smash that like button. If you don't want to or you don't have time, well, that's A-okay. I'm just happy you're here with me hanging out. Okay, I like your Bitcoin target, Joshi. Completed 2 buy targets off Bitcoin. Very nice. NVIDIA after 449, 502. I see. So after your NVIDIA pullback, you're expecting it to push higher to 502, which 502 is, that's its high. I can see that. Like done. Thank you. Appreciate that, Joshi. You are the best, and I do appreciate your support as well. Wow, APP our apps just popped up on my scanner. That's very cool. Let's go ahead and look through some of these lower floats. So we have quadruple C, CCCC. It's back up here at these tops. This might be a nice area of resistance right here. If it breaks above higher than that and it doesn't crap itself, that would be something I'd want to get out of. ADTX looks like it's starting to curl back up, maybe hitting this VWAP area and failing. We'll have to wait and see. CADL not doing much, and NAB not doing too much at all. So we can just go ahead and leave that gapper scanner up there. So let's go ahead and look at Snap. So Snap's been doing some great things down here. If we take a look, after it broke above this 200-day moving average, it has not looked back. Absolutely love seeing that. Okay, Joshi, well, thanks for swinging in, brother. I do appreciate you coming in. I do appreciate your time, and I like your insights, brother. You are a great support to this channel, so thank you so much. You have a good one, brother. I'm going to shoot you out a little heart there for you. Thank you, thank you. All right. So now we have Snap. Snap has just been snapping up off of these lows, creating newer highs. And, you know, if this thing snaps back down, maybe a play getting tight on its 10-day moving average or bringing it back down to its 21-day moving average might be something to keep an eye on. I still use Snap. I don't know if you guys use Snap or not, but let's see, Santa Joshi 79 Gmail. Ah, I see what you're doing there. Okay. I see what you're doing there. I'll shoot you a Gmail, brother. So yeah, Snap's doing good things here. Snap's doing good things right now. This might be a play. You know, this might be a play. Now, right now, shooting up, I can't buy green. Can't buy green. Learned that from a buddy of mine. Don't buy green. You know. So let's see, Palbits. Heck yeah. I'm gonna talk to Palbits here. All right. Yeah, I got a buddy in the Wolf Trading, Palbits, and he says Roblox is looking like a good short to him from here. And I have to agree. You know, I really wish I had a little bit more patience and I didn't take it where I took it, but I took it where I took it, and it's done. It's done. I took it where I took it, and that's that. This thing ramped up and now is right back in its area. That's looking like a beautiful short. So these aren't buy or sell recommendations. If you want a short, hey, take a short, but it's on you. It's not on me. I've already got my money in this. I'm already down some because I took it in a lower area and it just ramped up on me. So I'm patiently waiting for this thing to not just get back down to my buy-in area. I'm waiting for this thing to go back down to $25, $26 area. So that is my goal. Let's look at a few other things here. So we haven't looked at the VIX yet. And if you look, the VIX is creating new lows, guys. The last time we seen these lows was all the way back here in 2020, January 1st, 2020. What happened January 1st, 2020? This thing took off like crazy. Why? The pandemic. The pandemic sell-off is right here. If you take a look at this, that February. In the middle of February, we just seen this VIX, which is the volatility index if you're not familiar with it. VIX volatility index, meaning volatility, meaning how many shares are coming in and out of the market, how fast it's happening. Well, when you see this huge spike on the VIX taking off like that, you can tell we are going to have some pandemonium or a pandemic, if you will, is what created this, and there was a huge sell-off. So usually when you have a lot of shares trading very fast, that right there will show you that it is usually a sell-off anyway. Because people that, the smart money, they're slow buyers, they're slow movers. So when the VIX is at a slower moving rate, People are slowly buying in. At least this is how I look at it. And if you get a lot of people trading really, really fast, that's people panic selling. That's people getting out of their shares as quick as they possibly can because they are worried they're going to lose everything. Okay, let's take a look at the dollar. So our dollar had a nice pullback off of its 107 up here, pulled back and found a little bit of support at this 102. We're seeing a bounce. It doesn't look too strong. You know, every time I look at the dollar, it's just so interesting to me, and I don't know if it's big money that's trading this and this is why it looks like this, but look at all these wicks, the daily wicks on the dollar. So interesting to me. I almost feel like you could make a play off this, you know? I almost feel like you can make a play off this. Like once it creates, you know, it hits a high, you could short it. If it hits its low, you could long it, but I haven't looked too much into it because I don't play the dollar. Moves a little too slow for me. Here's FedEx. I don't know why I always look at FedEx. I have this on some of my bigger ones, but if we look at FedEx, it broke off of this top, this 270, and it's heading higher. It's a little extended from its 10 and 21 day moving average, but I do like to keep an eye on this FedEx. One thing else I like to look at is the gold futures. I pointed this out a while back. If we look at the gold futures here on the daily, let me just maximize this sell for you. Look at gold has been popping up. Boom, 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 boom. This last time, huge liquidity push, and now has been failing ever since. Now, if gold is coming down, a lot of times that is a positive sign for the stock market, because when gold is being bought up, that's usually fear. People are pulling their money out of equities and putting in something like gold or silver, assets that they don't think can be diluted. And so gold will rise when there's fear and pandemonium in the stock market. So now we're getting this huge rush, this huge influx, and we hit an all-time, I shouldn't say all-time high, but a yearly high in gold. If we go to the monthly here, I can give you, let's do the monthly here. Yeah, all-time high in gold, okay? And now we're getting this huge sell-off, okay? So this thing might find support like it has been. It's been going up for quite some time now, since September of 02 is what it's showing on the gold futures. Are we going to get a pullback? If we get a pullback, I think it'll be good for the overall stock market. These are the futures. If you are looking to try and trade something in gold, you can check out GLD, which is gold shares. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and now it's selling off. So this is something that you could use to try and short things like that. Okay, let's see. Here's XOM, which is your oil and gas. It's reaching its area of what I would consider support. It's not strong support, but it is support in this area. I say that because last time it came and touched, it popped up and it hasn't met that low, but now we're there. This thing breaks down, that's going to look good for the overall market. The more gas prices go up, it's usually in inverse with your SPY. So as the gas comes down, you're going to see the overall equities start to head higher usually. Usually when the market goes down, you're going to see gas, things like gas and energy, and your Kroger's and Costco's go up. Speaking of Costco, look at this thing. I called this out way back here when I started back working again. Was that June? Yeah, around June. It broke out. I actually took a small share size in here. I ended up getting out, I don't know, somewhere in this area. I don't really remember where I got out. It just was moving really, really slow, so I took and allocated that money into other things. But you know, for as much as I trade in and out of things, that's something, being a trader, is you learn from it, right? And now I look at this chart and I see where this is at, and now it's making new all-time highs on Costco, and I just say, you know, I seen this back here, why didn't I just leave a little money in there? Just a little money in there, because even if it's not about how much money you're making, it's about making the best trades. That's what I want to see. I want to see and say, hey, I took even if it's 10 shares here, right? It made $1,000, you know, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to move that money around and do something other with it, because this took it took 6 months, you know, over 6 months to get that $1,000. It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of time, you know, but that's also relative, right? So I also look at light sweet crude, which is coming back down here to its area of support. If we look at this, why do I call it support? Well, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how many times you want to count this. It has touched and it's ramped back up. So will this light sweet crude oil futures find an area of support, or will it continue lower? That's the question. I've been keeping an eye on Disney just because I think its whole woke system has really ruined it, and it just can't really keep up. I have a YouTuber that I do keep an eye on, I do watch, and let's see, Paulbit says, work lunch meeting, I went puts at the top, shorted EXP, but looking at longer contracts now. Sweet, man. But yeah, ever since it's became woke, you know, in the woke community and doing all this silly stuff, I don't know what you think is silly, but there's a lot that I think is silly that, you know, Walt Disney Company is doing. And, you know, apparently a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree they don't like to see this. They don't think the company is going to be able to sustain or bring in as much money. Now, they do have a lot going on. They have a lot of shows. They have Disney World, Disneyland. They have all these different places. They have Marvel movies. They have all these different things, which is great. But I still think they're going to fail eventually. I don't think they might recover a little bit, but I don't think they're ever going to see their highs of 203 ever again. Now, I could be completely wrong. I hope for the people that have it in their accounts that they do, because I don't have it in my account. It's not something that I really think about or care about, but it is something I keep an eye on just because I have a few viewers that want me to keep an eye on it. So let's zoom into the 5-minute here. Actually, we'll put this back on the daily and we'll just restore our cells. So at the bottom here, I'm using the daily. At the top here, I'm using a 5-minute to get an overall understanding of what's going on in this market. So NVDA pushed higher this morning and is just trading sideways, just under VWAP, trading at 469.55. Let's take a look at Roblox. Old Roblox finally coming down off of that huge push it had earlier. Let's hope that it can continue lower. Yes, sir-ree. All right. I love it. I like it. I want some more of it. We'll see what happens in the time to come. But I think I'm going to call that a day, guys. It was a nice, quick live show. I might hop on tomorrow. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys very, very soon. And just know, I hope you love me as much as I love doing this for you. Take care, guys.